Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Dyknow Digest episode. Dyknow Digest is a weekly video newsletter where we answer questions from Dyknow users to help you use Dyknow better and in more creative ways in your classroom. Let's see what topic Maggie has for us today.
Hey Tiara, this week's question is from Amy Stenzel. She said, I would like to see videos about engaging students in virtual learning and how to use Dyknow as more than just a supervising tool.
That's a great question. We did an episode earlier on the Dyknow Digest of how to engage students with Dyknow, but I think it's really important to talk about how Dyknow bridges outside of just student device monitoring. So I'm happy to jump into that topic and answer that question for her. Let's jump into the answer. All right, entry number 8 of the Dyknow Digest. This is a wonderful question, and it relates back to one of our earliest episodes, actually, on using Dyknow for student engagement. So this is a wonderful question because, yes, first and foremost, Dyknow is a student device monitoring software for teachers to use in the classroom or remotely. But more than that, Dyknow has capabilities that allow teachers to go beyond just device monitoring. So I would bucket these capabilities into 3 categories: student engagement, student communication, and how devices are impacting instruction. So first and foremost, teachers can use Dyknow for student engagement during class in 2 ways. One is the Dyknow question bank, and the second is the Dyknow check for understanding feature. So the Dyknow question bank is great to make sure that students are getting the material that they need, that they're understanding what's happening. And I like to think of this sometimes as an exit and an entrance question that you can send to students. So in the Dyknow question bank, you can create and save questions that can be answered in multiple choice, short answer, or true or false format. And these are really quickly and easily able to be pushed out through Dyknow so that students can answer them whether you're in person or remote. And then the second way is with Dynow's check for understanding feature, which is essentially sending a poll to students, asking them how well they're understanding the material that you're teaching, and they can respond in a poll form. So this is great for making sure that students understand what you're teaching and that they are where they need to be during the lesson. And if you need to maybe go back and teach something again or pull a student out individually to kind of make sure that they are where they need to be. So that is how to increase student engagement with Dyknow. The second one is communicating with students, and this can be done through Dynow's send a message feature. The last episode that we put out is how to send messages without blocking student screens, and this is exactly how you would use the message feature to communicate with students during class. So if you want to communicate with students, we have a couple pre-populated messages for you, but I encourage everyone to create your own custom messages and send those to either individual students, a group of students, or maybe all the students in your class to send them a quick message, let them know how they're doing, or maybe ask them to do something that you don't want to communicate to them to the whole class. So sending a message in Dyknow is really simple, and students, once they read it, can go ahead and click the I got it button, and you'll know that they saw it and they will be able to dismiss it from their screens. The last and probably most impactful way that Dyknow can be used beyond just device monitoring is the class history feature. So teachers, once they start Dyknow during class and they're starting a monitoring session, Dyknow's collecting that device activity data throughout the class. So after class is over, teachers can go into class history and understand how devices are impacting instruction, what students are doing on devices, and then also how many of the tools that they've been provided by their district, so Flipgrid, Wakelet, whatever technology tools you're using in class, getting an understanding of how those are being used during class time versus maybe Google Docs or other programs that you use for learning in the classroom. So those are 3 ways that Dyknow can be used outside of just device monitoring. Of course, in order to use any of those tools, you have to start a monitoring session during your class, and then you'll have access to all of those wonderful tools to increase student engagement, communicate with students, and understand class history and how devices are impacting instruction. I hope this answers your question, and as always, don't forget to submit a question in the comments of any Dyknow Digest video if you have a question about how to use Dyknow in your classroom, and we will be sure to answer it in an episode. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.